Buenos días a todos y a todas, esperamos que estén muy bien. Mi nombre es Germán Sundl y con mi colega Sofía les damos la bienvenida a esta primera sesión del ciclo de webinars para conocer las oportunidades que brinda ANI para realizar posgrados en el exterior dentro de las áreas estratégicas de nuestro país. Primero vamos a hacer una breve presentación de la convocatoria que abre en diciembre todos los años y cierra en marzo. Y luego vamos a darle la palabra a los speakers que nos acompañan hoy en representación de las universidades con las que la ANI mantiene convenios para otorgar becas en marco de esta convocatoria y que van a estar contándoles un poco sobre sus instituciones. Durante las presentaciones, ustedes pueden ir dejando en la sección de Q&A todas sus preguntas, tanto del llamado en general como cualquier consulta que quieran plantearle a las universidades que están presentes hoy, y las vamos a ir respondiendo por el chat en la medida de lo posible. Les cuento que la convocatoria de maestrías y doctorados en el exterior va a estar abriendo en las próximas semanas y vamos a estar enviándoles un aviso por mail a todos los que se registraron en el webinar para que puedan acceder a las bases. Por ahora, mientras no abra todavía el llamado 2025, pueden fijarse en las bases del llamado anterior que siguen colgadas en la web de ANI, en la pestaña de formación, y que les van a servir de referencia como para chequear los principales documentos que tienen que ir preparando. Bueno, la postulación se hace online a través de nuestra web y para postular tanto a maestrías como a doctorados es necesario haber iniciado el trámite de inscripción en la universidad y presentar constancia de ello. Para el caso de las maestrías, la postulación puede realizarse solamente a aquellas universidades con las que la ANI mantenga convenio. Estas instituciones van a estar listadas en nuestra web y también en el formulario de postulación. Para el caso de los doctorados, la postulación es abierta a todas las universidades, aunque ANI mantiene convenios para doctorados en ciertas instituciones y que les pueden otorgar ciertos beneficios en la matrícula o al momento de su estancia. La beca tiene un tope de $50.000 para maestrías de hasta 24 meses de duración y $80.000 para doctorados de 36 meses o de 48 meses en el caso de que el doctorado se realice en una universidad con la que la agencia tenga un convenio de cooperación. Los rubros que se financian son la matrícula, el pasaje, la manutención, o sea, los gastos de vida en el exterior, con un monto diferenciado según la región de destino, y el seguro de salud. Las postulaciones tienen que enmarcarse en alguna de las áreas que están aquí listadas. Son categorías bastante amplias, por lo que con una buena argumentación o justificación en la postulación, prácticamente todas las áreas de estudio podrían quedar englobadas. ¿Quiénes pueden postular? Uruguayos y extranjeros que residan en Uruguay, que cuenten con título universitario o de formación terciaria equivalente finalizada en Uruguay, pero que no tengan un título igual o mayor al que postulan. Es decir, si ya tienen una maestría, no pueden postular una maestría, solo doctorado, y si ya tienen un doctorado, no pueden postular el llamado en general. Tienen que tener también su CBUI actualizado, que es el currículum vitae en formato ANI, presentar las escolaridades actualizadas correspondientes a los estudios de grado y posgrado, así como un plan de trabajo y las razones que los motivan a realizar el posgrado al que postulan. El día de hoy nos acompañan representantes de las universidades que tenemos acá listadas. Voy a cambiar a inglés ahora para presentarlos. I will now switch to English to introduce today's speakers. Joining us here today are Joe Power from the University of Glasgow, Kerry Bevan from Queen Mary University of London, Hans Lundin from KTH, and Audrey Savage from Lund University. Thank you all for being here today. I think David Thomas hasn't joined yet, so maybe Joe, we can start with you. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course, no problem. I'm just going to try and share my screen. It's okay.
Great.
Okay, so hopefully you can all see that now. I'll just go to slideshow mode. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Joe Power. I work for the University of Glasgow. I'm based in Glasgow, so I'm here enjoying the slightly cloudy, slightly sunny weather we've got today. I'm just going to talk to you for about 10 minutes about the university in terms of what we can offer. We've had a really fruitful partnership with Annie for a few years now, and we offer a discount with them. So if you're lucky enough to get Annie funding, then we'll be happy to match that with a 20% discount. So a few key facts about Glasgow. We are quite an old university. So this year we are celebrating our 575th anniversary. And a lot of people might be thinking, well, why not wait till you're 600? But I'll be retired by then. So we're making sure that we have a party now for 575 years. So we were established in 1451. And that means that we are one of the oldest universities. We're classified as an ancient university, and we're the fourth oldest in the English-speaking world. So we're very proud of that history that we have at Glasgow. We're also generally a World Top 100 university. So we are currently 79th in the QS rankings and 84th in the Times Higher Ed rankings. So that's something that we're hoping to hang on to for some years to come as well. We're particularly proud as well of being in the World Top 20 for sustainability. So this is the THE impact rankings, and we're hoping to maintain that level as well. And within the UK, we are a member of the Russell Group. So this is a group of research intensive universities. And I think that Queen Mary and also Bristol are both members of those as well. So it's a group of around 24 universities that focuses quite hard on research. And that means that the research that we're doing will always come into the programme that you're coming to study with us. So even if that's a 1-year master's programme, we will ensure that our research influences that programme, and it might influence what your research project at the end of the year could be. So in terms of our size, we're quite large, relative to a lot of institutions. So we have 40,000 students and coming from over 140 countries. We also have a very wide-ranging staff coming from across the world as well. And as I mentioned before, we have our agreement with Annie, which has been working very well with the 20% discount if you are able to get funding from them. In addition to that, for students who don't get the funding from Annie, we also do offer scholarships, which are worth generally up to £10,000 per year as a reduction on fees. So I'll tell you a little bit about Scotland, as we're the only Scottish institution here today. So obviously we are part of the United Kingdom, but many parts of what we do are we manage within Scotland. So that includes our education, health, and certain elements of tax as well. So if you are choosing to study at Glasgow, you're choosing to study in Scotland, and we have a lot of things we're very proud of. You can see lots of pictures of lovely green landscapes and historical castles here, and all of this is quite readily accessible from Glasgow. I mean, Glasgow's a large city, but you're able to get out into the wilds within an hour at least of travelling out of Glasgow, whether that's by car or by train. And the picture that you're looking at in the bottom left there is a Viking festival that we have in the Shetland Islands where they celebrate the end of winter. It feels like it's a long way off just now because we've just started winter, but yes, we'll look forward to celebrating the end of it as well. So Glasgow, the city, we're the largest city in Scotland. We're the fourth largest in the UK. Some of these pictures here just demonstrate the kind of things that we have going on. Two pictures of the River Clyde there. So that's our big river where a lot of our historical industry was located. We used to be very, very famous for shipbuilding. Not anymore though, that industry's closed down, but you can see that we have our transport museum in the bottom left and then the Clyde River at night. We also have a lot of our big music venues on the Clyde River, and we have World Heritage UNESCO status for music because of the number of music events that we hold every week and throughout the year. And they can range from very small events to very large events. We're quite well known as a host city as well. So we have hosted Commonwealth Games. We're going to be hosting again in 2026. We've also hosted things like the European Football Championships. We hosted COP20. Can't remember which COP it was, but it was a couple of years ago, just as the pandemic was ending, we managed to host one of the COP conferences. We're also well known as being quite a friendly city in Glasgow. Now, if you are an expert on Scotland, you'll have picked up that my accent isn't Scottish. I've come up from England. I've been in Glasgow about 8 years. So I know what it's like to be an outsider and be settling in. And I have to say, I do agree with the assertion that we are a friendly city. We are well known for having a lot of chat. I've had to learn how to chat and banter more with people than I ever did when I was living in the south of England. So there's a slight cultural difference there. But people are really friendly, great sense of humour, quite a strong accent sometimes in Glasgow. So that's something that you have to get used to. But amazingly, it often takes many Latin American students will tell me it takes them maybe a couple of weeks and then they're tuned in. When they first arrive, they think they're not going to understand anything because it can be quite a strong accent, but it does get a lot better within 2 weeks, which is really impressive. So yeah, I would agree it's a very friendly city, a very nice place to be, a fun city as well, a good city to be young too. And that picture in the bottom right is a picture of our campus from the Kelvin Grove Park. So we are located in the west end of the city of Glasgow. And it's known for being a very green part of the city as well. It's probably the nicest or the poshest part of the city. And that's partly the name Glasgow actually comes from the Gaelic, which means dear green place. So even though we're a large city with an industrial heritage, we do have lots of green spaces for you to enjoy. This is a picture of our campus here, so I'll just kind of run through quickly the different landmarks within the campus. You can see that it is located within the city, so we get the advantage of being a campus university, but not being too remote from the city of Glasgow itself. So you only have to walk for 10 minutes to be in the real part of Glasgow and experience the real world. So that's quite nice to have both together. So, of course, that's the Gilbert Scott building and the famous tower, which forms a part of our skyline. University Library, slightly more modern building, and tends to be open 24 hours a day during exam periods if you need that. Fraser Building is where all of our student resources are, so student services are located there. That's our James Watt School of Engineering. We are going to be building a new engineering building. It's actually in the process of being built right now. And these are some of the newer buildings we've had built in the last kind of 5 to 10 years. So we have a huge campus redevelopment project going on at the moment. The James McCune Smith Learning Hub is a building which is mainly for students, gives them extra study space, but also space to collaborate so that they don't just have to sit quietly on their own like you might do in a library. And then over there, you can see lots of new buildings that have gone up. And really, we are now on our last building, which is the Keystone building, which will be adding space for engineers and for scientists as well. But we've got an advanced research centre that's just been built, and our business school has just been rebuilt there as well. So we're very lucky that we've been able to do lots of campus redevelopment because, as you might be hearing, it's not a very easy time for universities at the moment, but we're hoping to plough on through. These are the subjects we offer at Glasgow. So we offer almost everything. A few things we don't offer include things like fine arts, architecture. We don't really focus on oil and gas. Most of the universities in the north of Scotland would focus on that particular industry. But apart from that, we have mostly everything. And like many of the UK partners here, our master's programs are usually 1 year, and they always have been. That's quite normal for us. It's a solid 12 months. It's quite intensive. You'd spend the final part of the year doing your dissertation or your research project. So that's how we structure our masters. And then PhDs, if you're interested, are usually between 3 and 4 years. So I think that's where I'm going to stop. But I'll be hanging around for questions if there are any. Stop sharing. Thank you.
That was great, Joe. Thank you. Just a reminder for those who are connected, you can leave your questions also in the Q&A box, and we will be answering them as the webinar goes along. Carrie, if you're ready, we can go with you.
Yep, no problem. Thank you very much. Let me just work out how to screen share. Oh, sorry for the delay. It's thinking about it. Oh, there you go. Is that displaying correctly? Perfect. Thank you very much. Good afternoon from London. My name is Kerry Bev, and I work in the Global Engagement Office at Queen Mary as one of the contacts advising prospective international students. I've just realized my presentation is 36 slides, but I am going to just race through, give you an overview, show you a couple of images of campus in London. So don't worry, it looks a lot, but I will stick to my 10-minute limit. Similar to my colleagues from the University of Glasgow, we are quite an old university as well, though not quite as old. We date back to 1785, where our Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry is the oldest. We started as having quite humble beginnings in the East End of London, and over the last couple of decades, we've grown into a global university, and you can see some of the images of our buildings and our London campuses on the screen there. I'll show you a few more images in just a second, and also our different campus locations. We're part of the University of London, as the name suggests. And as my colleague from University of Glasgow was explaining, we are also a member of the prestigious Russell Group of research-led universities. And you can see some stats there on our various rankings, which we're very proud of. Very well known for our research, particularly in medicine and dentistry, as well as other schools and faculties. And you can see there's other stats there around Nobel Prize winners and things like that as well. So as I said, we're a global university. Our home is in the East End of London, which is a very vibrant part of London. We're 1 mile away from what's called the City of London, the financial district. So when you look out to some of the higher floors of campus, you've got this really dramatic view of the City of London skyline. And then you can see there some of our international presence. We have some overseas campuses as well in Paris and Malta. These are our campus locations. So as I said, our home is in the East End of London, but we do have some other schools as well. We have a medical school in Whitechapel, which is around 15 minutes walk away from our main Mile End campus. We have a postgraduate law school in Holborn, which is in the legal heart of London, and then 2 further branches of our medical school, which is located in an area called Charterhouse Square, which is in central London as well. So you can see there, this is the largest campus at Mile End. Mile End is around a 15-minute tube ride from the very heart of London. So it's a really fascinating area, but with easy access on public transport to all parts of London. And you can see the highlighted building there between the Mile End campus and the City of London is our medical school. So we have 3 faculties. The first is our Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, and you can see some of our stats there. We also have a Faculty of Science and Engineering and a Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry. And again, you can see, I won't read out all of this. We can circulate the slides after the webinar. We are a campus university, which is quite unusual for London. So again, you can see on the presentation there's some of the images of our buildings. So the Mile End campus is where most of our students live, and it is a small self-contained campus with accommodation. Everything students will need is located in one place, all of the academic buildings, the accommodation, and then of course all of the different services that you would expect. Again, I won't read them out, but there's extensive support for all of our students, including our international students. We're very proud of what our graduate students go on to do. So you can see 94% of graduates are employed and are in further study, also going on to achieve higher graduate starting salaries. And there's lots of support in place to help students as well during their time at Queen Mary and also post-graduation. London is a fantastic city. I'm not from London originally, I'm from Wales, but I've lived here for almost 20 years now, and I keep discovering it's such a fascinating city and an amazing city to be a student. And you can see there the headline is #1 city in the world to be a student. And of course, there's lots of cultural attractions, cultural parks, museums, etc. So I'm just going to flip through the images. Again, there's lots of stats I'll circulate after the webinar finishes, but each of our school, you can see the different postgraduate opportunities that are on offer in our various schools, which are a part of those faculties. So you've got business and management, economics and finance. We have a very well-known Centre for Commercial Law Studies, CCLS, with numerous law specializations. Department of Environmental Geography and Environmental Science, Literature and Comparative Politics and International Relations, Biological Behavioral Sciences, Computer Science, Engineer and Material Science, Mathematical Sciences, Physical Chemical Sciences. Each of the entry requirements do vary by program, as you can see there. And then, of course, English language requirements will differ as well. These are our tuition fees and costs. So we do offer annually, it should have been highlighted there, it's a 20% discount as well. So exactly like Glasgow. and then students would apply via our application route. And if you do apply through our application route, then we've got a dedicated team that would help you through that admissions process. So I'll stop sharing there. And that's a very brief introduction to Queen Mary. Thank you.
Great, Kerry. Thank you very much. David Thomas, if you're here and you'd like to go next.
Thank you, man. Yes, I will. Let me
Hi,
share
great.
let me share my screen if I can. Uh,
Okay.
you able to see that okay?
Yeah.
All
I
good,
don't know
thank
if you
you.
can turn it into full screen mode.
Oh, yes, that's right at the bottom there. Give me a second.
Perfect.
There we go. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. So David Thomas here, speaking to you from Mexico, actually, quite early in the morning, 7 o'clock. So you'll excuse my croaky voice. So lovely to have this chance to speak to you again and to share information about the University of Bristol. And I'm going to go through the presentation covering all the areas that have been required for this presentation. So the University of Bristol, like the previous speakers, is a member of the Russell Group of universities. We're based in England, in southwest England. On this occasion, here's a map of the UK with the beautiful night of Bristol nightlife in the background there. And Bristol is down in the southwest of the country. We're about an hour and 40 minutes away from London. Bristol is the capital of the southwest of England, a beautiful part of the world, a wonderful city. And indeed, we talk as much about the city of Bristol as we do about the university in these presentations. It's one of the key attractions of coming to a small, compact city like Bristol, where so many things are going on, where there's lots of activity for young people and students, both within the university and outside. And we'll be seeing a bit more about the city as well as the university as I go through the slides. So you can see lots of colour in Bristol. There's our lovely colourful houses around the harbour side. Bristol we describe as an independent city with soul. So there's so many things going on in the university. In the city rather. It's a very multicultural city with communities from 187 different nationalities, including a big Caribbean population. We have our annual carnival every year organized by the Caribbean population in the city. It's also a very green city with over 400 parks and green spaces. It was voted the European Green Capital not so long ago. And it's a very creative city. It's home to Banksy. And when I travel across South America and I mention Banksy, so many students and young people immediately respond and recognize the name Banksy. Well, his home is Bristol, and there's lots of his original artworks all around the city that you can really get to know and enjoy. So it gives you an idea of the level of colour and vibe that there is in Bristol. Bristol's been recognised in many respects for the quality of life, the quality of student life, and most recently was recognised as the happiest city in the UK, according to the Institute for the Quality of Life in 2024. So I think student experience has always been a very, very important element to deciding on where you're going to be studying, as well as the quality of the institution and the quality of the programs. And Bristol's fortunate in offering you both those opportunities. Here's a nice panoramic view of the city, and that really shows how what a nice city it is. Obviously, the sun is shining as it doesn't always do, but it's a beautiful day on the photograph there. And this is actually a compact city. So on that photo, that might look very large, you can walk 15, 20 minutes in either direction from the campus which is right in the heart of the city. So again, here you're living, as I mentioned, not just the campus life, but also the city life, living in the centre of the city of Bristol, and everywhere is walkable. On the photograph there, up to the top left, you can see our wonderful suspension bridge, the Clifton Suspension Bridge. Walking across Clifton, that's a 15-minute walk over there. You can see beyond the bridge, there's a lovely park area. And there's wild deer roaming there, so we've got green, real wild green areas right on the doorstep of the city. And then coming back into the centre to the campus area, walk down to the harbour side. Bristol historically was an important port, but these days the harbour side is a rich cultural environment where loads of activities are taking place on a daily, weekly basis. So as I say, lots of things going on, beautiful architecture, lovely place to walk around. So yeah, living within the city, which so much of it is given over to student life, is a real benefit, and everything is within walking distance. Everything is on your doorstep. So a marvelous experience to be enjoyed. This is homing in now a bit closer on the university campus area. So this is now seeing the campus itself within the centre of the city. Again, you can see lots of green areas there. Bristol's actually we're up to 51st in the world according to the most recent QS world rankings, and 8th in the UK. But again, like the previous speakers, we're talking about a high quality university offering excellent education, and principally our ranking is due to the high quality academics that we have at the university, who do world leading research across many different areas, and that's reflected in the fact that we have 26 of our subject areas are ranked in the top 100 in the world. As well as the strong academics and the specialisation that you achieve by studying a master's degree at a university like Bristol, that makes you extremely employable. And our graduates are ranked the 5th most targeted graduates for employment in the UK. Indeed, a Uruguayan graduate who was with us on this webinar last year is now employed in the UK, having completed her master's degree. I'll be mentioning Agostina very shortly. She may join us shortly. She's at work, but she may have the opportunity to join us for the Q&A. So we have a very broad offering in Bristol across these 6 faculties, and within those faculties, all these different areas of study. So very, very specialist master's programs across a wide range of areas, and very much at a master's level, it's about each individual student having a clear idea of what they want to study and the offer that Bristol has. If we have the program, the specialism you're looking for, you can see there's a wide range of opportunities. Over 200 master's degrees programs offered at the university within those academic departments. Great funding opportunities. So with Annie, of course, we have the agreement where we offer a 30% discount on the fees at Bristol. And we also invite all students who are supported by our sponsor partners in country to join our Think Big development program, which is what students who are receiving funding from the university itself join a Think Big development program, which is a career development program that runs alongside your studies at the university. So I mentioned student experience. So Agostina, who was with us in this presentation last year, she may well still join us, but that's her kind of sharing her experience. So she did a master's degree in economics with data science. We're offering a lot of programs that combine individual disciplines with data science and AI and other key innovations that are taking place in the world at the moment. So Agostina is an amazing example of someone who grasped the opportunity at Bristol with both hands, and as I say it now, is employed and working in the UK following her graduation from the university. The application process is very straightforward. You're applying on every single master's web page that we have. Every master's degree we offer has an individual web page, and from that web page you can find out all the full details of the program. And there's a nice red button at the top of the page on which you click, and that takes you to the application process. And it's an online application, and you need to fill in all sections. We ask for good, strong GPAs from Uruguayan students, good levels of English. we're increasingly not requiring either a personal statement or in many cases a reference, but we're wanting to see your full transcripts and your academic ability so that we can make a decision as to whether you can come to Bristol to study the program that you're looking for. And we have an increasingly broad global alumni network. I was recently both in Santiago, Chile, and Bogota in Colombia, and indeed in Mexico. And we had another session. We have what we call global alumni gatherings across the world. And this year we had 4 here in Latin America. Unfortunately, not yet in Uruguay, but that will be on the cards, I'm sure, for future years with more students that are coming to the university thanks to the support of Annie. So yes, a great global network, and increasingly across Latin America, we have more and more alumni being very active in the community, and our alumni office for any student who's graduating from the university will be kept in close contact with the university. So a quick summary. So why Bristol? A great quality of life. Internationally recognized degrees can open a whole world of opportunities when you graduate from the university. Great alumni networks, including more and more in Latin America. Our Think Big scholarships, along with our partnership with Annie, which are there to support Uruguayan students. And maybe something I didn't touch on too closely, our close ties to innovation and industry in Bristol. The university works hand in glove with industry in Bristol, and that creates lots of opportunities for students from all around the world. So that's the end of my presentation. I'll be around for questions at the end. Thank you very much, Herman.
Thank you very much, David. Just as a reminder, if you have any questions during the presentations, you can leave them at the Q&A section box. Thank you, Kerry, for already answering one of those questions. También un recordatorio para los que están como para tener información sobre el llamado general, pueden dejar preguntas que no refieran a ninguna universidad en particular, sino a las condiciones generales del llamado. Moving on, Audrey from Lund University, Sweden. Audrey, the floor is yours.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Let me just share my screen. Okay, hopefully that works. So my name is Audrey Savage-Hultgren. I am the Latin American student recruitment specialist here at Lund University in Sweden. So my job is to help students like you from Latin America through the process of applying and coming to Lund. Lund was founded in 1666, so not quite as old as some of our counterparts here, but still quite a historic university. And we are a public nonprofit university, also consistently ranked in the World Top 100. Most recently, we are quite proud to have been ranked #1 in sustainability by QS just a few weeks ago. And as part of that ranking, we were #1 in specifically equality as well, environmental research and governance. Governance being how transparent the university is in terms of decision making, how much students play a role in the decision making and the regulations that are created at the university. So that's something that's a little bit unique, especially within other parts of the world, but that we're quite proud of. We're ranked 72 overall by QS and 95 by Times Higher Education. We're number 63 by Times Higher for most international, and that's also something that I think is very important to the environment here at Lund University, is how international our student body is. We have students from over 130 countries represented on campus. And in terms of our actual location, we are in southern Sweden, just across from Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark. So we are in what's called the Greater Copenhagen region, or the Öresund region. So I think that really makes our location a little bit of the best of both worlds, because you get to experience Sweden and all of the wonderful things that make Swedish culture so great. But we're also only 45 minutes by train from the capital of Denmark as well. So you get to experience 2 Nordic countries for the price of one. There's also quite many very strong research institutions and universities within this space. So it's very common for students to do internships or case studies, thesis projects, etc., within different research parks or universities around this kind of large hub area. So Lund itself is quite a small town. It's about 120,000-30,000 people, 45,000 of which are students. So we're very much a student city, but close by to, again, Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark, and 15 minutes by train to Malmö, the 3rd largest city in Sweden. So again, you have a little bit of the small town, cozy vibe, but next to 2 large cities. And as I mentioned earlier, diversity on campus is something that is incredibly important to us. About 60% of our master's students in total are international students from around the world, and 46% of PhD students. This is something I can say even from my own studies. I did my master's at Lund as an international student several years ago, and we were 24 students in my cohort from 19 nationalities. So I think not only are you learning from incredible professors at the top of their field in research when you study at Lund, but also experiencing so much from the other students in your cohort that have had different experiences, come from different places, which I think really enhances the learning experience. We have a huge range of courses, of course, within 9 different faculties covering a large spans of topics. So engineering, business, science, art, humanities, social science, law, medicine, you name it really. So a lot of different opportunities of things to study. And we also want to make sure that you enjoy your time on the side of your studies. So we have a very vibrant student life in Lund. One of the more unique aspects is our student nations, which are really like large social organizations run entirely by the students that do formal dinners, pub nights, brunches, game nights, sports, anything you can really imagine. And we also have every 4 years the Lunda Karnevalen, which is the world's largest volunteer-run organization or event, sorry, outside of the Olympics. So the students really come together to put on this huge event that really transforms campus. Some of these pictures I think are from that. But overall, there's around 450 different clubs and organizations you can get involved with on campus, run by students. So a lot of opportunities to really take advantage of your time on the side of your studies as well. In terms of our degree programs, we offer around 130 master's programs in all different areas, as I mentioned earlier. The majority of them are 2 years in duration, but we have a handful of 1-year programs that are specifically in the business faculty. Most of them are course-based, so they will have specific coursework concluding with some form of a thesis or degree project. But we have a lot of very interdisciplinary options. If you are especially interested in changing your field of study, for example, normally you need to study something related to what you studied previously. So let's say you did your bachelor's in biology, you generally can then do your master's in biology, but not if you didn't, vice versa. But for many of our interdisciplinary programs, they're open to students from all backgrounds, for example, management, public health, environmental science, climate change and society, international development, for example. So if you are someone who would like to change your career path or add a new discipline to your CV, that's potentially an option in some of our programs. A lot of our programs also will have an internship or an option to study abroad built in. I know not everyone always thinks about studying abroad while you're studying abroad, but we have 600 different partner universities around the world that you could potentially do that in if you'd like to increase your international experience also while on campus. But overall, all of our programs are really designed to have a lot of industry connection and are all research based, so that if you want to go on further for a PhD study in the future or continue on into the industry, you'll be well placed to do either of those things. I'm focusing mainly here on masters, but of course we also do offer some PhD options on campus. PhDs work a bit uniquely in Sweden, in which instead of a program that you apply to, it is actually more like a paid job that you apply to. So you get a salary rather than paying tuition, and they're generally 5 years. So you can also learn a little bit more about that on our website, as well as see our full list of programs. In terms of actually applying to the university, we use a national application system in Sweden called universityadmissions.se. So if you're interested in applying to any universities in Sweden, we generally all apply in one place using one application. So that makes things quite simple. And we're always open between mid-October to mid-January. So the application's open right now for studies starting in August 2026 and is due January 15th. So the actual steps for the application are, of course, always first to find an application program that you're interested in and make sure that you're actually eligible for that program, as you can't apply for a program that you're not eligible for, unfortunately. But then you create your account, select the programs that you want to apply for, and rank them. This is a very important part of the process in Sweden because, as I mentioned, you can apply for multiple programs, multiple universities in the same place, but you can only ever be admitted to one program. So if you get into your first choice, options 2, 3, and 4 will be deleted. So it's important to always really make a pros and cons list, think about what are really your preferences in terms of what program you list first in your ranking, and submit the required documents and pay the application fee. So in terms of actual fees and such, this gives you a little bit of an overview here. I won't read out all the numbers, but in terms of the range of tuition fees for the majority of our master's programs, around 14 to 19,000. This is in US dollars, but and living costs around, let's say, 1,000 a month. This, of course, can vary a little bit depending on your lifestyle, what sort of accommodation you choose, that sort of thing. But to just give a short overview of the timeline, now is the time, if you're not interested in studies immediately for next year, to really just be doing what you're doing, exploring your options, finding programs that you might be interested in. If you are interested in August next year for beginning studies, then now is also the time to complete your application. The deadline for selecting programs is January 15th, and the deadline for the documents and proof of English and such is February 2nd. The application for our scholarships, which I'll speak about in just a moment, opens up in February after you have applied to the programs, and admissions results this year come out March 26th. And then from there, I'll be right there alongside you for any students who are admitted to help with everything like housing, residence permits, those sort of things to arrive in August. Now, last slide or two here, briefly just to mention, we do have our Lund University Global Scholarship Program, which can cover partial to full tuition fees, which is open for all students to apply, which is a great option. But we, of course, also are very excited to have our funding agreement with UNI. So students who have funding with UNI will also get a bonus 25% scholarship from us here at Lund, deducted directly from the tuition fees. And as a student at Lund, you always have insurance included directly in your tuition fees, so you don't have to worry about having an extra insurance on top of that. And we also provide a housing guarantee for all non-EU students coming to Lund, so you don't have to stress about finding your own housing either. Now, it's always great to talk to me and hear a little bit about Lund, but I think the best thing is always to talk directly to our students. So you can chat with over 100 of our current students, including a lot of students from Latin America directly online at any time. If you'd like to ask them about their experience of what it's like to be a student at Lund, find someone in the program that you're interested in and hear more about the program, etc. So hopefully this was enough to give you just a little bit of a taster of what it's like at Lund University and in Sweden. And if you have any questions, you're always welcome to reach out to me. I will go ahead and drop a few links in the chat of some of the things I referenced today. So if you want to go and investigate that more in the future, you're always welcome.
Thank
You
you,
hear me?
Audrey. That was great. Well, last but not least, we have Hans Lundin from KTH. So Hans, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Audrey. KTH is also a university based in Sweden. So we have some things in common with Lund University that Audrey just presented. So let's see here. Yeah, so my name is Hans Lundin. I work as a regional advisor responsible of Latin America at KTH. I could just briefly mention a little bit about Sweden. It's in the north of Sweden, and it's has a quite interesting climate in the sense that we have very marked seasons in winter, summer, spring, autumn, with up in the north a lot of snow in winter, with and in summer we have quite warm summers as well. Sweden's quite famous for its sustainability focus and also gender equality. Sweden is also quite famous for being an innovative country. A lot of Swedish companies are quite famous. Many of these are engineering companies, both older ones such as Ericsson and Volvo, Electrolux, for instance, but also newer ones such as Skype and Spotify and Bluetooth inventions. A lot of these stem out of the engineering culture that KTH is where KTH is a core. KTH is located in the capital, Stockholm, which is the heart of Swedish trade and business and innovation. As you can see here in the images, it's a lot of water in Stockholm, a lot of forest as well. It's a very livable city. It's approximately 2 million inhabitants. So KTH is the biggest technical university in Sweden and actually in Scandinavia. It's also the oldest technical university in Scandinavia. and the highest ranked. So it's not as old as some of the other universities presented here today, but for being a technical university, it's quite old still. We're also ranked one of the best universities in the world, and in some fields such as electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, for instance, we're ranked even higher than top 50. Here you can see an overview of the main campus, which is located in the city center of Stockholm. As I mentioned before, you can see here that it's quite integrated with water, forest, and within the city. So we have also student accommodation at campus. We also have accommodation spread around the city. We have some smaller campuses outside of the city of Stockholm, like in the outskirts, but most students will study in the main campus in the city. We have 64 master's programs, all taught in English. Various of these are joint master's programs, which means that you study 1 year at one European university and 1 year at KTH. And here you can have you have an overview of all the programs, and same as Lund and that Audrey mentioned, most programs are 2-year programs, but there are some that are 1 year that you can see here in parentheses. It says 1 year. Otherwise, they are 2-year programs. Some of these programs you can read joint, and these are joint programs. And if you're interested in a joint program, it's important that you read extra carefully, because these programs might have different application procedures, different scholarship programs attached to them, different deadlines, etc. So be aware when you read about programs, if it's a normal KTH program or if it's a joint program. So what happens when you study at KTH? Well, being a technical STEM-oriented university, we have worked for a long time on building a platform of having a challenge-driven type of education, or a problem-based type of education, where we want to foster our students to become engineers and can engage in a good way in a work situation, meaning that we blend lectures with seminars and teamwork and individual studies, so that you learn how to collaborate in a group, because being an engineer, but also other kind of professionals, that's usually how you solve problems at the working place. Normal programs, they consist of 3 semesters of course load or courses. So you study full-time courses that have this mixture of lectures, seminars, teamwork, etc. And the final semester is the thesis work. And similar as what Audrey explained, a lot of students, they do their thesis in connection to industry or companies, or authorities. And that's actually a quite strategic way of getting a good and solid contact with future employers, and also an interesting way of applying the knowledge that you have acquired during your studies. KTH also offers a well-established structure to receive international students. You mentioned that KTH is a very international university, where we receive students from all over the world. We have students from Uruguay, Colombia, Mexico, all over Latin America, Asia, Africa, Europe, of course, the US. So you can expect a very international environment. So each program will have its own specific requirement. But additional to that, there is English proficiency. This is normally presented by a proficiency test, such as IELTS or TOEFL, but there are other ways of showing English proficiency as well. In each program, it's also stated what kind of documents that you need to apply, that you need to submit in the application, and these might differ somewhat. Here's an overview of the fees for the normal 2-year programs. We also have discounts for annual scholarship holders of 20%. And as Audrey from Lund mentioned, we also use the national platform for applications. So if you choose one program at KTH or one at Lund, you would use the same platform and you would pay one application fee, and it would be the same deadlines. And I can just repeat what Audrey said, that it's important that you order the program in the hierarchy that you actually that reflects your interest, because if you're admitted to the first in the ranking, the other ones will be cancelled. So now is the time to start the application, and you have until mid-January to do the application, and 2nd of February to submit the documents. We're also quite present in social media, and we also have a quite good website where you can find information in a very structured way. I can also mention that we have student ambassadors from representing all master programs. So if you want to engage with students now studying the master program that you're interested in, you're most welcome to contact these student ambassadors. And these student ambassadors also come from all over the world. So you might be interested in also, additional to talking to students that study the program that you're interested in, you might also be interested in talking to students from Latin America, for instance. And you can find these when you enter into the website and you look for the programs that you're interested in. And here you can see our presence in social media as well. So I think I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hans. We are right on schedule, so great job, everyone. Thank you for being here. If you have any question, now is the time to leave it in the Q&A section box. Si tienen alguna pregunta, los que están como asistentes en el webinar, los invitamos a que la dejen en la caja de preguntas de Q&A que pueden encontrar abajo en el Zoom. Así las contestamos entre todos. Y si no, los invitamos a que envíen por correo. Les voy a compartir las direcciones de correo de la unidad de cooperación y la unidad de formación de becas de la ANI. Por dudas sobre el llamado, estas son las direcciones de correo. ¿No se ve?
Ahora sí.
Ahí, perfecto. Bien, ahí les dejo las direcciones de correo de la ANI. Acá tenemos una pregunta de André. ¿Para ANI se puede aplicar a máster y doctorado a la vez o solo se permite una aplicación? Te pongo acá para contestar en vivo. Solo se permite una única postulación por persona, ya sea a maestría o a doctorado. Bueno, si no tienen ninguna otra pregunta, eso, los invitamos a que se pongan en contacto con nosotros por mail después o que se pongan en contacto directamente con... Acá tenemos una más. ¿La grabación de hoy se va a subir a algún lado? Sí, perfecto. Muchas gracias por la pregunta. El webinar de hoy va a quedar grabado y va a ser subido a YouTube para que lo puedan volver a mirar luego. Y también les vamos a enviar cuando abra el llamado de este año, les vamos a estar enviando por mail el link a las bases donde van a poder tener toda la información completa y también van a ver el listado de las universidades con las que la ANI tiene convenio, con los contactos correspondientes de cada universidad para que puedan comunicarse con ellos también. Así que, sin más, muchas gracias a todos y a todas por conectarse. Thank you very much to all the speakers for the great work, and see you guys again next year.
Thanks, everyone.
Gracias.
Bye.
Bye bye.